Yep.
Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Alex Grossi to the program tonight. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How's it going?
It's going well. Here to talk about the Hookers and Blow album just out on Golden Robot Records, a stellar album of covers. And I see you are thrilled to have this out to the masses.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're really happy with it.
This was sort of a long time coming. I mean, the band's been around since like 2003. You played live gigs, you've done residencies, tours with the Dead Daisies. But this is like your first tangible physical product, correct?
This is the first thing yes, the first thing we've ever recorded. I actually honestly never thought we would, but after we did a couple bus tours and the demand was there, we said, the label Golden Robot kind of gave us complete control over everything, which is what we wanted. We didn't want to have to really to answer to anybody, which is great. We went for it, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and I think people are digging it so far.
And you also got to hook up with Alistair James for producer, who worked with Hollywood Vampires, so that must have been pretty cool as well.
Yeah, he was the perfect choice for that because the Hollywood Vampires is kind of like a higher end version of Hookers and Blow. It's a bunch of guys getting together for fun away from their main project. So he was the perfect choice.
Now, were you guys able to record most of these together, or was this during COVID where you were separated trading files? How did the recording process go?
The skeletons of the tracks, the bass, drums, and rhythm guitars were all recorded together, and then the overdubs were done. It's not virtually, but Dizzy would do most of his vocals and keys back in LA, and I do a lot of my lead guitars here in Vegas at my home studio. So it's kind of 50-50, but the meat and potatoes of it was done as a band.
Cool. Now, with a covers approach, is it easier or harder? How do you go into it with your approach to it? Do you want to stay true to the original, try to put your own stamp on it?
I think you want to stay true so people still know what song you're playing. Obviously,
Yeah.
You don't want to go too abstract, and we kind of like to just. I don't think we strayed too far from the originals, but we definitely, you can tell that, we made them a little heavier. And I think Johnny Kelly was definitely the secret weapon on this record because his drumming set the tone and the pace for the whole record, the way he played, made everything kind of, set everything back a little bit, pulled it back and made it a little heavier and bigger sounding. So
Very
that
cool.
kind of, we played off that, and he's phenomenal in the studio.
Yeah.
So that was he laid down a great foundation for us to work with. We're very grateful for it.
Absolutely. Very cool. Speaking of drummers, you also got Frankie Manelli on the Zeppelin tracks, which I understand are very special and you hold near and dear to your heart.
Yes, they came out amazing, and they were some of Frankie's last recordings, and he really wanted to do it. And No Quarter, I get chills when I hear it. Not too many people have the balls to cover that song. Not too many people have a keyboardist to begin with. That track is literally just myself, Dizzy, and Frankie.
Wow.
It's all Dizzy did all the John Paul Jones bass keyboard stuff, and then Frankie played his track, and we built it around what he did, and what he laid down was amazing.
Nice. And then I understand some of the proceeds from the Trampled Underfoot single went to the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network.
Yeah, when that was released as a single, raised a decent amount of money for it, actually. Yeah.
Very cool. His drumming is such a power. I loved where I really got, obviously the Quiet Riot stuff, but the one that always did it for me was when Wasp covered The Real Me. What a tour de force.
Oh my God. Yeah. He told me the story behind that. Actually, he said he drank half a bottle of 10 High, which is just really cheap bourbon. It's like for like $3 you get like a fifth of it. He said he went full Keith Moon and did it in a couple takes. And it's amazing. His drumming in Wasp. I'm close friends with Mike Duda, who's the Blackie's right hand man in that band, and
right.
They've gone through a million drummers, and they always say the drumming, the song that sets apart the men from the boys in that band is Chainsaw Charlie.
Yeah.
From the Crimson Idol. Frankie's drumming in that. They call it the Bermuda Triangle of drumming. Literally, no one can get it. And Frankie that's a masterpiece, really. It's really underrated.
Absolutely. How did you guys hook up? And I hope I'm pronouncing them right. Is it the Okai sisters for Godzilla?
Okai, yeah. The Okai sisters, they were kicking around the Cat Club the same time me and Dizzy and I met. And they actually are Hookers and Blow alumni. They filled in for me when I was on tour.
Wow.
They and Suzumi, the bass player, she's actually in Limp Bizkit now, if you can
Wow.
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're great players. And we used to do Godzilla live, and and we had to record it. And if you listen closely to the breakdown, it's Miyuko, the guitar player, yelling at us in Japanese, and we don't even know what she's saying. So
Wow. That's
and she
cool.
won't tell us, so it's a big mystery. So if you can speak Japanese, check it out and see what you can tell me what she's saying.
Yeah, decipher it and let you know, right? I
Yeah,
mean, those girls can
yeah.
just bring it.
Oh,
Um,
the best guitar playing on the record. It's not even me.
you also got a nice endorsement from Ice-T on your body count cover of The Winner
Yeah,
Loses. That
yeah,
must have been
yeah,
very cool.
yeah. I'm friends with Vince Dennis. He's the bassist for Body Count, and I texted him a rough mix of it. I said, send it to your boy, see what he thinks, and then I sent him the final mix, and he wrote back, we got the stamp of approval from the man, so that meant a lot.
Which was cooler though, to get the endorsement from Ice-T or to get that video endorsement from Charlie Sheen that I saw on YouTube as I was prepping for this?
The Charlie Sheen thing. We won the internet that day. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
over the top, pinch me moment for sure.
The thing about it is when he did it, and he did it as a favor, and you can tell he's genuinely, when he says the words Hookers and Blow, he's smiling on his face. He's not acting.
Yeah.
He is genuinely, that's the guy. There he is. You can't get a better endorsement than that.
No, that is awesome. Let's travel back in time a little bit. You grew up in Connecticut, a state that I'm very familiar with. I have family that still lives down there, so we took a lot of concerts in Hartford, New Haven, and all that stuff. Sort of got your start down there in bands, and you learned at the Music Conservatory in Hartford, and you went over to Berkeley.
Well, I didn't attend the Hartford Conservatory. I took lessons from a teacher named Tom Majeski, who taught there. He worked for my parents' music school. Great teacher. If you're listening, Tom, he taught me a lot. I used to take 2 lessons a week from him, and then I ended up teaching my own students after that. He was that good.
This was at Riccardi's, right?
It was called Ricardo's Music Center. It was in East Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah. And then after I finished high school, I just, we all know Connecticut's not really a hotbed for up and coming rock and roll. No. So I moved to Boston and went to Berkeley for a few months, and then, like most people, dropped out and went on tour.
Yeah. Going back to like taking and giving lessons, I talked to Mike Cross a couple of weeks ago and I asked him, obviously as you're learning, but as you're teaching, are you learning as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. When I would teach, I would always have kids bring in whatever song they wanted to learn or riff. And, a lot of times it was stuff that, I wasn't familiar with. And I would be learning along with them, like, oh, this is some new Soundgarden tuning or whatever. It was the 90s. So there's a lot of the new, all open tunings and whatnot. So yeah, it was an education for me as well. You never stop learning because things are always evolving. So, it was, at one point when I was a senior in high school, I had like 42 students a week or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't really go. I skipped school most of the time. I barely graduated. I was pretty much, I was a punk, but, right. Yeah, but no, teaching definitely teaches you a lot, makes you a better player. And you don't realize it, but you're sitting there with a guitar in your hand for 8 hours a day. You're constantly noodling and work, building your chops up too.
That's what I was going to say. The more you play, the better you get,
Yeah.
Also understand though, in the Connecticut days, your dad knew Joe Porcaro.
Yeah, that's a parallel. My South Windsor, the Porcaro family originated in South Windsor, Connecticut, that eventually formed Toto, and their father was named, the nickname was Skinny Porcaro. My father was friends with him, and he used to hear Toto rehearsing in the basement. Wow. So that's a little parallel right there.
Yeah, and Joe played with a kabillion acts. I was reading his bio. Yeah. That was amazing stuff.
Yep.
Very, very cool. So then you went on to do great and other things. Of course, a lot of it with Quiet Riot. I got to ask you this story just to sort of embellish it a little bit for me. With Kevin Dubrow, around the time of Condition Critical, when it came out and wasn't selling, as big as he had hoped, made some statements that were very controversial, that sort of didn't put him in the favor of too many other rockers, but yet when Ronnie James Dio did the hearing aid sessions, he put him in charge of the choir. He said he wanted the biggest, baddest guy on the planet in charge of everything, put Kevin in charge. Did he ever talk about that experience at all?
Not specifically, but I can see why Ronnie did that, because Kevin was one of those. He was such a big presence when he walked into the room. It was Kevin, Kevin, Kevin.
Yeah.
He was a big personality, on stage and off, and he knew how to command an audience. Yeah, no matter whether it was 80 people or 80,000 people, he knew how to. He could work. Let me put it to you this way: when we played the first Rocklahoma, it was us, Rat, and Poison were the last three bands that played in '07. The first night, big 45,000 people, and I think the stage was 80 feet long. He made it 90 feet long. He worked it. He made that show even bigger. That's where he thrived, and I could see why Ronnie did that. He just was just a big personality all around.
Yeah. And of course, you're still flying the flag with Quiet Riot. You guys are playing tomorrow night in Wilmington, Ohio. Rock the Block.
It's not tomorrow night. It's not tomorrow night. It's July 31st. So
July 30th. Okay, 2 nights for Win.
Yeah,
Yes,
2 nights.
Yeah.
Saturday night. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Closing it out.
Closing out the whole thing. Yeah, it's us, and then playing before us is Autograph and Winger.
Oh, that's cool. How does it feel to be up on stage playing those iconic Quiet Riot songs, seeing the reaction from the audience and stuff? It's got to be awesome.
It is. I mean, there's nothing like performing live and playing those songs that people grew up with. I mean, they know every note of them. And, when you launch into the opening, chords of Bang Your Head, Metal Health, people go nuts. I mean, it's, it's a classic. It's not, and Come On Feel the Noise is still on the radio all the time. It's they're not going anywhere. It's really, and you see a lot of younger kids out there, that are into it, and it feels great. It's nice to be able to carry on the legacy.
Absolutely. Speaking of young kids and young talent, are you still doing lessons now, or you just have no time for that anymore?
I do. Not really. No. I mean, most of my time goes to preparing for shows and doing, and doing recordings for the various projects that I'm involved in. But no, I haven't taught in a while. I did a couple of things for charity last year during the pandemic. Raffled off some lessons for charity, but
Nice.
no, it's been a while. It's funny teaching. I've also done a couple of guitar clinics. I noticed that most of them, they don't want to hear you play. They want to hear your stories and hear you just talk about shit that happens on the road. And that's more, you can go on YouTube and have a guy show you how to play Sweet Child of Mine. You can't get the stories and the real deal.
Yeah, exactly. But you got to be aware of some of the talent out there. I mean, I saw a video this afternoon. This group called the Iron Cross just a couple days ago put out a cover of Still of the Night that is incredible, and it's all kids.
There's a bunch of those out there. Yeah, I mean nowadays.
I mean, what do you make of that talent?
I mean, it's always there always has been talent like that. There just hasn't been the internet to look at it.
Yeah, true.
That's all it is. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's always been there. It's just now you can record the 5-year-old kid playing Run to the Hills on drums and it goes viral, and
right,
a week later there's another 5-year-old kid playing an Iron Maiden song on drums and it goes viral. I mean, it's not really, but there was always that kid playing drums. It just there was no way to get it out to the world before. That's all.
Yeah, imagine if YouTube would have been around, say when Eddie Van Halen was just coming up,
Oh yeah. Imagine if YouTube had been imagine if there had been social media in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, though, thank God there wasn't.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm grateful. When I first moved to Hollywood, it was like 2002, 2001, and it was before MySpace or any of that shit. And I got a good 5 years in on the Sunset Strip with no social media, and I'm very grateful for it because it's a whole different world now.
It certainly is. It certainly is.
I
got to ask you about one story. Then you talk about the stories and everything. You played with a ton of members of Guns N' Roses, and you actually auditioned for Guns N' Roses. Can you tell us the story about that a little bit?
That was actually a pretty crazy story because they were holding auditions for guitar players. And actually, I was out touring with Hookers and Blow. Dizzy, we had Dizzy Pearl singing for us at the time, and we the night 2 days before my audition, we got hit. We got in a car accident. We got hit by a drunk driver.
Ugh,
So I actually did my GNR audition, with 3 broken ribs, and straight out of the hospital. But it was killer. I mean, I did a couple songs, and um, obviously they ended up getting. I think that was when they ended up getting Bumblefoot, and
mm,
I got to meet Axel a couple weeks later at one of their first shows they did with
yeah,
Bumblefoot, and yeah, no, it was a dream come true just to be invited.
yeah, yeah,
So
really cool. The covers on the Hookers and Blow album, of course, cover the gamut of everything. Is there a cover song, a song that you've always wanted to cover that you haven't yet? One that sort of slipped through the
no,
cracks.
not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'm sure. Um, Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, you know what? It'll come. I'm sure there's one, but I can't think of. You're putting me on the spot here. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I've always wanted to hear a rock version of "My Prerogative" by Bobby Brown. I think that'd be
Mm,
cool.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, that song rocks. I mean,
That riff, no.
yeah.
That could be made into a guitar. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Someone just
Absolutely.
someone just stole my idea out there. Great.
There you go. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, I was looking at Quiet Riot's future dates. You guys have one scheduled March 26th of next year in Springfield, Mass, at the Mass Mutual Center.
Yes, that is correct.
Who else? Do you have anybody lined up yet on the bill for
Yeah,
it?
I don't know much about that show yet. It just got announced. I believe it's going to be a multi-band show, but I really don't know.
Very,
I just go by what I'm told, by our agent.
very cool.
But yeah,
Sort
we'll be back there.
almost sort of a homecoming for
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty close, yeah.
you. Yeah. And I'm only
In
3 hours
Springfield.
away, and it's a Saturday night. I may just make the trek down.
Well, if you are, let me know. I'll make sure there's tickets and passes for you at the door.
That would be absolutely awesome. I would love that. Excellent. Alex, I always like to end with silly questions. Are you ready for a few
Okay,
questions? Hopefully, you've never even been asked before.
bring it on.
Favorite pizza toppings?
Mushrooms and onions.
All right. Oddest job you have ever held?
I've never had a job.
You've never had a
No,
job. It's
I
always
should.
been music.
I've always done music, but actually no. No, I shouldn't say that. I actually worked when I was 14 years old to get money to buy my first guitar. I picked corn on a farm in Connecticut.
Yeah, and
And like
that's a job.
that's a job. 3 o'clock in the morning, out in the fields picking corn and tomatoes and peppers all summer long. It was the hardest job, definitely. I wouldn't say odd, but definitely that was a job. It was work. So it makes you appreciate. It builds character for sure.
Absolutely. Is there something outside of music you're good at? Like, are you a good car mechanic or a good word worker or something like
I'm
that?
really I'm really good at fishing. I'm probably a better fisherman than I am a guitar player, to be honest with you.
All right. Favorite
I love
super
fishing.
favorite superhero?
Ace Frehley.
Excellent. What television show would you like to have a Hookers and Blow song placed in?
Uh can it be any? Can it be a
Yeah,
show?
yeah,
Let's see. Um, can it be like? Can it be used over and over again? Like
absolutely.
I'd like to replace the little dun dun on Law and Order with something that I wrote, so I get those royalty checks.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah,
um, very cool.
yeah.
Um,
I'm thinking about the mailbox money here. So yeah, give me a Law and Order theme song.
there you go.
Yeah.
Give us something you decorated your teenage bedroom with.
Uh the obviously posters of Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, posters of Kiss and Samantha Fox.
Oh yeah, I had a life size
Yeah,
one of her.
yeah.
Right. If
I had the one where she still had underarm hair too. I had that one.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that one, but
There
okay.
was why. Yeah, I wanted to at the Connecticut at the Big E Connecticut State Fair. Yeah, I was like, this.
Well,
Why should I was like, that's weird. Yeah, yeah.
it's cool.
Google it. It's there. Google it.
I'll have to check it out now, definitely. If you could speak any language instantly, what language would you pick?
French.
Household chores, dishes or laundry?
Laundry.
All right. Favorite old school wrestler?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Excellent. Last one, and this is the one we have fun with. If they were to make a biopic of your life, what actor would you pick to play you in the movie? It's your life, your movie. You can pick anybody.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, all right. Perfect. We've been chatting with Alex Grossi here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall, the album Hookers and Blow, out now on Golden Robot Records. It is stellar. Very, very cool. Anything on the horizon for Quiet Riot as far as any type of new recording, or are you just going to be
Oh
touring for
yeah,
now?
yeah. We're in the studio right now working on stuff. We have a new record. I mean, there's some stuff, nothing set in stone, but we are working on new material with Frankie's drum tracks.
Cool.
We have one new song called Rock and Peace that was debuted on 6 Degrees of Sarzo, which is Rudy Sarzo's podcast, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we're recording right now. I mean, I'm actually, working on some stuff right now as we speak. So just stay tuned to the Quiet Riot Facebook page. And yeah, it's all, we're very busy. We're booking a lot of shows and full steam ahead.
That is awesome. Alex, is there any questions I didn't ask you, any topic you wanted to talk about that we didn't cover? The floor is yours.
No, I think that's pretty much it. You did great.
All right.
I mean, again, I'll probably think of something in like 10 minutes, but
Right.
oh yeah, I do believe Carol Baskin killed her husband.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from the Tiger King. I do believe. I think she's guilty.
All right, sounds good. The official verdict is in, courtesy of Alex Rossi.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alex, I very much appreciate you taking the time today to talk to me. I know you're a busy man, and I appreciate every moment that you've given me. I have loved it, and look forward to hopefully meeting you guys down there in Springfield in March.
Yeah, hit me up if you need tickets.
Absolutely. Take care, Alex. Best of luck going forward with everything.
You got it, buddy. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.